Mindy.
It's about the Trump against Obama because you guys were talking about why people hate Trump so much versus Obama,
Okay,
how
go
they
ahead.
can say the same thing.
Uh huh.
For the video you played about the government waste in the buildings of how Obama could say it and nobody made a big deal about it. But when Trump and Elon said something about it, it was a big deal about it. I don't think it's so much about saying the same thing. I think it's about how they're going about it.
I said how they say it
No,
as how
I
you
think
say it.
she not talking
It's
about
it's
how they.
not about what they're saying
She
and
talking
what
about
things
like
they want
how
to.
like you talking about like him employing Elon Musk to go in and audit the government and take they quote unquote gang of nerds and all of that. That you saying that's the issue.
Well, that's the issue, but that's not what I was talking about at this point. At this
But
point, I'm just saying, like, far as like getting rid of government buildings, Obama said he wanted to get rid of government buildings,
mm-hmm.
and Trump is saying he wants to do the same thing. The difference is how things went about it. Obama went through the proper channel and did things the legal way through Congress, got permission, made sure these buildings were done, and it actually ended up happening. I know for a fact, being within the government for many years, that the government has downsized and got rid of a lot of buildings by incentivizing telework and remote jobs so that they didn't have to have buildings
Now,
versus Elon and them have now just started signing leases to terminate them with no plans of where to move these people, what to do. They're like, there's no process being done.
let me give you some pushback on that, D, and thank you for calling in to tonight's show. If I let's say that current cabinet had a certain quota where I want to close, I want to close 40 government buildings. But this current administration say, you know what, we want to close 300 buildings. I would
Mm-hmm.
assume my approach to the 300 is going to be a little bit more abrasive, a little bit more brash than the moderate of trying to do just 20. So I think it's going to be goal oriented as well as far as my approach. How aggressive should I be because of my goal is higher than what you wanted to do? I need 300 closed. You only wanted 20. So I need to come a little bit more ferocious than you did.
Right, like, and that's the thing.
True.
I think
But it's
that's
a right way and a wrong way of doing things. And then you're putting lists out to the media like you accidentally listed some CIA places that are not supposed to be listed because of the way you're going about it is not proper and you have somebody that has not been vetted and know the proper ways of doing things or what building belongs to who. You cannot put certain information out there to the world because now you're causing security issues and stuff. There's a proper way to do things and handle things.
well. I'm gonna say this. When Trump got or ran, it was had already been known that he had spoke to this a bunch. We're going to do things a lot differently because the issue with government is because of how it's been ran. The quote unquote proper ways that a lot of people talk about and how the yellow tape or the red tape and the minutia and the Congress and all of these bills and stuff that got to be passed is the reason that a lot of stuff is slow with our government. I get what you're
That
saying.
is that is true and I agree with you,
And
but
so
think
hold
about
on.
it.
I
If
won't
you
finish.
have a
I
family
won't finish. Hold
member,
on. I won't finish. So so with that being said, I gotta take an axe. It's like you wanted to be like it's like if we got a patient right now. I could take an axe and cut their arm off, or I could take it, take it a little slow and suture it a certain type of way. And I think Trump is going at it with an axe where you got the person that has been trained, I guess, more trained and doctor that's been doing this for so long. Because Obama is a politician. We all and everybody understands this. Trump isn't a politician, and he's always said that. And the way the government works is kind of like bullshit. And I think most Americans can agree. Like if we just talking about selling buildings, okay, I might have messed up and put some CIA assets on there. But we talking about selling buildings, I shouldn't have to jump through all these hurdles just to sell buildings to make us some money now. Go ahead.
but there's a right way and a wrong way. And then you have to think about it like, what if that was one of your family members who now can potentially be hurt because you put their information out there on the social media on X? Because this information was not just posted on the Doge website, it was posted on X, where you're putting secret and sensitive information out there that can potentially not just hurt your family member per se, but it can also hurt the United States, the way you're going about different things. Like there was also during the whole firing process, a list of, I believe it was 20 CIA agents' names was accidentally released on X.
Mm.
So that's where I'm saying there is, and they were considered deployed, like at a duty station where they could potentially be hurt. How would you feel? Like, I know you're married. How would you feel if that was like your wife being one of them agents over there, and her name is being released on the media because you have somebody that you put in charge of government efficiency who don't know the difference and is not going to get not asking the questions that need to be asked before you act. I understand of taking the action, hurry up, get the leg
so you
cut
answer
off.
the question. Let me answer the question real quick. So how you asked me how would I feel if that was like my wife or something. So if let's say I voted for Trump, which I did, so I'm gonna put out there I voted for Trump, right? So let's say I voted for Trump and Trump said, hey, we're gonna come in here and basically do shit differently and wreck shit. So as just on some man shit, if I understand that I voted for somebody that said they're not a politician, we're gonna do stuff that's out of the ordinary, that's not on the books, that's not by the law, not by the books, I would just live with the decision that I made pertaining to my vote. And I think most men that have that idea, that understand, hey, this is a person that has clearly told us and stated to us the way that I want to do stuff is not the same way that most politicians do and handle shit, and that has been the issue. If that was the case, I would just have to handle it when it comes to my doorstep, and I would be okay with the decision that I made. I wouldn't be like trying to personalize it, because that's what a lot of women do. They try, well, how would you feel if that was your wife or such and such? Like, you're trying to personalize it. And
okay, take the personalize out of it. It's as a United citizen, like as of we're now can be under attack where information that should not have been released is being released to our enemies.
But
and
that's all the time. That's the whole point. What they said about TikTok, and then they had made a whole government ban where government officials couldn't even have TikToks on their phone because they were saying that TikTok was recording and pinging buildings and stuff. So to see the layouts of certain buildings and stuff, we're always honestly under like attacks and stuff like that. We're always shit getting released. We're always somebody emails or been doing something. That's always a thing. I think when we have these conversations, it's like more people like to be like, oh my God, Trump is doing this. It's going to cause a government breach. Well, it's been a lot of stuff. We have shit like Watergate. We had a whole bunch of stuff in our American history that has been bullshit, that we always under threat. Like even 9/11. We got reports that the plane was going to hit the building, but nobody did. Well, they said, hey, we got reports all the time that stuff was going to happen. Which one do we know is true? Which one do we know is false? So we can't just go about trying to eliminate all of every threat or everything that goes on in America, because it's not going to be possible. It's 50 million people in America.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I was just calling about why I feel like people look at them differently is because I just use that as one example, because nobody made a big deal when Obama deported over 400,000 immigrants. But it was just like I said, it's the difference of how one person's going about it versus another person going about it. And also, you're saying we want to save government money, but right now we have not saved any money. Like, you fired a whole bunch of government employees and now had to back pay them. And they're still getting paid.
It's only 2 months.
But they're being back paid. Like, how is that saving money? I want to save this much money in my first quarter. You're not saving money. Like, when you cause hysteria and chaos, and you're just doing things a certain way without realizing the consequences that come, that's where people start having an issue. No one has an issue with him deporting people because, like I said, Obama deported 400,000 people when he was in office.
He had the nickname Deporter in Chief.
Yeah, he was a high. So I'm not saying that, doing the deportation, but like I'm saying, it's the way going about it. Like we are, and right now it's been several articles and several stories of how American citizens are being detained because of how things are going about. That's why people have a difference of opinion between Trump and Obama. It's not that Obama got to say something and then Trump said the same thing, and it's a problem. It's not about what's being said. It's about how things are being handled.
Well, let me ask you something. If I gave you $100 and then Chris gave you $100, but we gave it to you in a different manner, but it ended up in the same result, would you really be concerned about how I did it? Is that really that big of an issue for you?
But that's not what's happening. It's not the same result.
I think she's speaking about as far as the approach that Trump had versus Obama, which is determining the perception of each character or each person. However, I think what said is driving is that the result of what I want and the result of what he was getting and want, I can't have the same approach. So it's not going to be something that's soothing, because in all forms of war, there are going to be casualties. So
that's true, but Trump's not getting the results that he wants right now because everything's being shot down by federal judges. Like the results that he wants,
I think
is not getting done.
I think you won't
the
see
way
results.
He wants it done.
I think you won't see results until 3 to 5 years from now.
Yeah, you have to. That's what I'm saying. You have to. It's only been 2 months, and even when you talk about just the back paying of government employees, he already said that before when he got in, he said we're gonna get rid of these people. And you don't think like the issue is when people say, well, this has happened and this has happened, and then you go back and look at what Trump said. Trump had already said, hey, if y'all don't want to come back to work, I'm going to pay you up to September already. So you're already going to pay these people that you're going to fire. He already said he's going to do this. You don't think this already has been calculated? You mean to tell me person?
But that's not exactly what's happening. That's not what's happening is what you're saying. I get what you're saying. The whole deferred thing, I'm gonna pay you through September, but that's not what is exactly happening.
So what you're saying? So I'm trying to understand.
That's not like what he said and what's actually going on for people that's not inside that world. That's not what's actually happening. So what I'm saying, like you're back. Okay. So his thing was he wanted to get rid of probationary employees.
Mm-hmm.
So he fired them all in February.
Right. I remember that.
And they were not supposed to get no pay. They were just supposed to have been fired. Okay. But they were not fired correctly. It was just a letter sent out and they were all fired saying for unsatisfactory when they even had paperwork proving that they weren't. So none of them people could even go get unemployment.
Okay.
So now a federal judge has blocked what he did, and now they have had to rehire every single one of them people
mm-hmm.
and back pay them and keep them on the books until they figure out until it's approved to be fired them again the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
So no one's complaining about the fact of the reduction of force of getting rid of it, because Clinton did it as well. Clinton did it when he was president. He got rid of a whole bunch of government employees. Right. But the thing is, it was not as costly to the American people because of the way he did it. He did it the correct way, where it was not costly. Had he just had them do a reduction in force, or what they would call a risk, then they would have just been let go and there wouldn't have been no money wasted. Like even today, there was an article which was proven to be true that the United States had paid $40 million for 400 immigrants in Guantanamo Bay, I think is what it's called. $40 million for 400 people.
Somebody in Guantanamo Bay?
Yes. $40 million was paid out total since some people been there for 400 people.
I'm confused why that's an issue when we have other cities that have been sanctuary cities when the border was open, to a point where you have Brandon Johnson in Chicago try to raise taxes on its citizens to the tune of $1 billion. Like that's just one city. It's multiple cities like that. Why, when there's an issue, how Trump do so? That's what I'm saying. Like you could go
because this is a short term thing. Like I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like what I was just calling just to say is the difference of why Trump is getting so much backlash is not because of what he wants to do. It's about I'm saying.
How he's doing it.
It's about how it's doing, because when all the numbers are said and done, are you saving the money you're saying you're saving?
That's what I'm saying. You won't know a lot of this stuff until the time comes. You got to give it time. It's only been 2 months. That's what I'm saying. So
we've lost more money in the 2 months than you talking about of saving money, because.
Okay. Let's say right now we lost more money in 2 months. Let's say you lost more money in 2 months. I'm just gonna go with your scenario because I don't know. But let's say you lost more money in 2 months. Let's say something happens 6 months from now where we didn't got back that money and still save in, let's say, totality of this whole year since I've been president. So 2 months, we lost more money in this 2 months, but 4 months down the line, I done got back way more money and then cut out. So like I said, you can't really just go by 2 months.
You can't. You're right.
That's what
You
I'm saying.
can't. But
So
the way these lawsuits are going against him,
but every
these
president
other
get a
federal
bunch of
judges,
lawsuits. Every president Trump had a bunch of lawsuits last time he was president because he's always stated, and that's why I don't understand the confusion. It's not like he's bamboozling nobody. It's not like he's trying to pull the wool over anybody else. The way that he moved, he has already told people, when I get in the office, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Hold on to your big boy britches. He even say, even about the tariffs, he said it's going to be a little pain with the tariffs. It's going to be some pain. So when people are talking about, oh, it's going to be a little bit of inflation, he's already said, hey, it's going to be some pain when I drop these tariffs. But hold on. You got to, like I said, a lot of this stuff you have to wait and see. You can't go off 2 months. And that's why I don't understand. It'd be crazy for me to be in a relationship and deem a whole relationship with somebody just based off 2 months when I've only been doing one thing with this person, just really having sex. We got to get through the honeymoon phase. I got to meet your parents. It's so many other things I have to do with this person to understand where they're trying to go. And 2 months based on this relationship that we have with Trump right now is crazy. I think 2 months to 2 months, if 2 months to do something like be a president and you say you're finna come in and just ask all of the stuff out, and I got to go through all, like I said, the red tape, Congress, bills being passed, laws being changed and stuff like that, all the pushback, the federal judges that people put in place before me, or the federal judges that I thought was good and now it turned on me because, you know, maybe they getting sponsored by George Soros, that came out and said George Soros and his son is sponsoring 73 or 78 judges in America to go against Trump, and that has been proven as well. So when you talk about the federal judges that has been going against Trump, it's like some of this stuff makes sense, but like I said, now we got to hire these people back just for it to be inevitable for me just to fire these people later on down the line. And you could be like, well, you didn't go through the proper protocol, but just let their ass go now, because they're gonna be let go on later. And I would have actually saved money if the judge wouldn't have flipped on me. So that's what I'm saying. With it sounds cool, but 2 months is not a long time to really judge anybody.
But then that hurt. I mean, the judge flipped because of the way they were fired was wrong. Like, that's 25. Like, I don't know how many people. It was around 25,000 people that can't even draw unemployment because
that part I did know. See, I didn't know they was fired in that manner where they couldn't draw unemployment.
Their letter stated for unsatisfactory. Their letter was stated for unsatisfactory.
Now that I ain't gonna lie to you. Now that's bullshit. Now that is bullshit. If that's the case,
they can't get any benefits. They can't get nothing, and it was done deliberately like that. The agency was ordered and directed by Elon of how to write the letters, and that's how it wasn't even proper English. The letters weren't, and they were let go with.
They weren't proper English.
Jibber jabber.
They weren't.
Chicken scratch.
Well, none of our emails from Elon has been proper English. Like, they're not.
Oh, so you work for the federal government too?
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you got that letter? Tell me 5 things.
I didn't get the letter. Well, I haven't gotten anything yet, and that's why I'm gonna say yet, because there's more stuff coming. So. And I got years of I got over 10 years of service. So
okay.
Military included, and
salute to
like
you.
I said, but no, I'm saying
thank you for your service.
Like seeing the fact of watching these people be walked out, and then they're trying to file for benefits, and they cannot get anything because of the way they were terminated in that type of manner.
I got you. I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it. Like, you're saying you want to help American people, but then you throwing them on the street.
Like I said, I agree. I think anybody, if I can't file unemployment, to be abruptly fired, and you just saying my work is unsatisfactory, so I couldn't get unemployment. That's bullshit.
When you just had an appraisal saying that you were meeting satisfaction, or you're getting awards for meeting your goals, but then you're fired for unsatisfactory.
Yeah, your evaluation.
And you only got a 1 day notice. I mean, besides the fact of not listening to the election, because I was like, well, y'all knew this was coming, so you had a notice, but literally you were told, you got an email saying show up to work the next day with all your equipment, and you fired. And you can't get no type of benefit.
And you know somebody that can send me one of their emails that they got? Or can you give me a copy of the email and send it to me?
I can try. I know it's been posted. Yeah, they're posted online. I know the guy Aaron Parnes. I don't know if you follow him on TikTok, but a lot of people have been sending a lot of the stuff to him, where you can see a lot of the stuff, like a lot of emails being sent out has been given to him. And that's just like, you want everybody back in the office 100%, when you don't even have the space because the government downsized space these past 6 years. So where do you want to sit all these people you want back in the office? How do you say that that's a productivity of getting more work done when you have people sitting on top of each other?
I got you. Well, look, I gotta run. I want to tell you thank you for tuning in. Make sure you call in when you got something you want to talk about, disagree. Feel free to always call in. We're gonna be Wednesday miscellaneous. Outrage Wednesdays. We got a good topic. Like I said, thank you for calling in, and don't be afraid to call in if you, like I said, even if you disagree.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
take it easy. Bye bye. That was a good call, man.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So yeah, close us out.
Well, again, this is our third. Is our third miscellaneous Monday or second?
It's our second.
It's our second. I think this is. No, it's our second.
Okay.
Because I changed the thumbnail.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our second miscellaneous Monday. Like I said, Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are our days that we're going to stream. Wednesday, we're going to have a very good Outrage Wednesday. We're talking about false prophets. We're going to get into the Marvin Sapp controversy, and we're going to get into, I can't think of this content creator's name, but we're going to get into abusive relationships on both ends. I think abusive relationships, I think it has increased.
Somebody abusive relationship.
Yeah, I think since the COVID era,
it has.
They domestic violence cases have went up a little bit, and I just can't see myself picking someone that would cause me physical harm, no matter what you see what I'm saying? I just can't. I try to wrap my mind around it, but
and I was about to say, you a man, but then I think about the dude, the little skinny dude named D.
Yeah.
His girlfriend beat him
whooping
up.
his ass. Yeah. Like I said, catch us Wednesday for Outrage Wednesday, same time, 7:30 p.m. We gone.
Peace.